Why did Switzerland, a small country in the heart of Europe, survive centuries of war and conquest untouched? Surrounded by powerful neighbors like France, Germany, and Italy, Switzerland should have been an easy target. Yet through medieval wars, Napoleon's empire, and even 2 world wars, Switzerland remained unconquered. The secret lies in geography, strategy, and diplomacy that turned this mountain nation into an impenetrable fortress. High in the Alps, Switzerland's geography gave it its first shield. Towering mountains, narrow passes, and treacherous terrain made invasion costly. Armies that tried to march through Switzerland faced the same challenge that frustrated Napoleon's men in the mountains of Italy or Hitler's troops in the Soviet Union, nature itself. The Alps created a natural barrier that made conquest far less attractive than the rich, open plains of Europe. But geography was only the beginning. The Swiss people built a military tradition rooted in defense and self-reliance. As early as the Middle Ages, Swiss mercenaries were famous across Europe for their discipline and ferocity. Kings and popes hired them as elite guards, and even today, the Vatican's Swiss Guard is a living reminder of that tradition. At home, Switzerland developed a unique system of universal conscription. Every able-bodied man trained as a soldier, and local communities were organized into militias. Unlike other nations that relied on professional armies, the Swiss prepared their entire population to resist invasion. Their strategy was not to conquer others but to make their own land impossible to hold. This defensive philosophy crystallized in what became known as the National Redoubt. The Swiss military would retreat into heavily fortified positions deep in the Alps, destroying bridges and railways behind them. Any invader would face endless ambushes, cut-off supply lines, and a hostile population ready to fight for every valley and mountain pass. The cost of occupation would far outweigh the benefits. Diplomacy provided Switzerland's second shield. In the 19th century, after the Napoleonic Wars, Switzerland's neutrality was formally recognized at the Congress of Vienna in 1815. The great powers agreed that a neutral Switzerland served everyone's interests, a buffer state in the center of Europe that could provide stability. From then on, Switzerland cultivated neutrality as part of its national identity, staying out of alliances and wars while maintaining strong defenses. This neutrality became most visible during the 20th century. In World War I, while Europe was consumed by conflict, Switzerland remained neutral, hosting peace talks and humanitarian organizations like the Red Cross. In World War II, the threat was even greater. Nazi Germany surrounded Switzerland on nearly every side. Plans for invasion existed. Hitler considered them, but they were never executed. Why? Because the cost was too high. Switzerland mobilized its entire population, fortifying the mountains and preparing to destroy critical infrastructure if attacked. At the same time, it used diplomacy and economic pragmatism, trading with both the Allies and the Axis to maintain survival. Critics argue this was compromise. Supporters say it was survival. Either way, the result was the same. Switzerland stayed independent while the rest of Europe burned. Economics also played a role. Switzerland's banks and financial system offered value to all sides, making the nation more useful as a neutral hub than as occupied territory. Over time, this reputation for neutrality and stability became an asset, helping Switzerland thrive long after the wars ended. So why was Switzerland never invaded? The answer is not one secret but three. Geography made invasion a nightmare. Military readiness made occupation suicidal. And neutrality, carefully managed through diplomacy and economics, made conquest unnecessary. Switzerland's story is a reminder that survival is not always about size or wealth. Sometimes it is about strategy, preparation, and the will of a people to remain free. From the Middle Ages to modern times, Switzerland proved that even a small nation, if determined and clever, can resist the mightiest empires. Today, when we think of Switzerland, we picture mountains, watches, and chocolate. But behind that peaceful image is a history of resilience. A country that chose neutrality, armed itself for defense, and turned geography into its greatest ally. So the next time you see Switzerland on a map, remember this. While Europe's great powers rose and fell, this little Alpine nation endured, unconquered, independent, and free.